Hello, Canada, and welcome back to One Soccer Today for this Monday, November the 18th. It's Adam Jenkins, Oliver Platt, Gareth Wheeler, and Jordan Wilson here with you. On today's program, we will, of course, discuss Canada's 1-0 win against Suriname with a look ahead to leg number 2, and also some time with the women's national team and an update on some key players who will be missing a significant portion of time, and a whip around to a reset with the American men's national team as well. That's all still to come, but let's begin with Canada's 1-0 win in Suriname. It was a trip down south to South America. It was all square, a stalemate until Jonathan David was able to pick out Junior Hoylett for a fantastic goal that would stand as the winner. The return leg goes tomorrow night at BMO Field. We will preview the match after we get some instant reaction to, well, I guess not instant, it's been about 26 hours or so.
Delayed reaction.
Some delayed immediate reaction. Let's start with you, Oliver Platt, with your big takeaways from Canada's victory.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not so much interested in talking about the game itself. I think it was a classic Concacaf away game. So I'm going to take this in a slightly different direction, just based on not just watching this game, but watching Canada, obviously, under Jesse Marsch and seeing some of the other games in the region that we're going to talk about later on. Like, it just kind of re-emphasized to me the past few days, like, Canada's got to win this competition. Like, this is the time. I think, I don't know that things are going to line up in a way team than they are right now. Like, you look around at the teams they're competing with, Mexico losing in Honduras. The US is still, who knows what they're going to be by March. They don't have a lot of games, a lot of time under Mauricio Pochettino to get ready. Panama are a good side, got a great result in Costa Rica, but they haven't got nearly the quality that Canada has. Like, I genuinely, I was thinking about this last night. If you asked me to pick 5 players in CONCACAF for the next 5 years right now, how many of them are Canadian? I'll throw it to you guys first. 3?
You're thinking about this. You're staying up at night thinking about this.
I really was. I think it's 5.
Riveting life of all.
I think you can make a case for 5 out of 5.
You could make a case, but like shoe in.
Like we got.
I don't know how to answer that question because all the football,
all
all the football I watch is 11v11, so that's what matters.
I know it's not super relevant.
So Ollie, just snap of the fingers, easy as pie. Canada should go on and win the nations.
We gotta win this. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but we gotta win it.
They're in the mix, okay? Look, I by no means thought it was a great performance on Friday night. First half, I actually thought they were pretty good. They finished their 2 chances. Ahmed and Olo Ashei finished those chances, drew up 2-0, and the game's out of sight. This is what Jesse Marsch spoke about post-match, and I completely agree with them. Finish some of these chances, and the game completely changes. They've just shown the inability to do so. That's just dumb luck, like bad luck there. I'm no physics major here, but like how that stays out is absolutely ridiculous. And remember, this was a team that was playing with a completely chopped and changed back 4 in this game. And you might say, well, it's the attacking players that kind of mattered in this moment. But the defensive players, the way that Canada plays, provide the platform for everyone else to go and do their business. I think that Canada, and I said this a few weeks ago, still need to figure out the best combination of players to play in wide areas. I think Liam Miller was a significant blow. Tajon Buchanan, great to see him back on the field. He needs to get back to full stride. But this has been the story under Jesse Marsch. Very good in transition, very good in pressing and counter-pressing. But when it comes to systematically breaking down a team, they struggle. And the worst part about the performance continues to be set pieces. Guys, they're dreadful. Like, they need a set piece taker. These are the small margins that matter, that will separate from you being a potential contender in this region for a team that actually goes on and win tournaments. And I just don't think that they're quite there yet. Look, these away games are difficult in this region. That was case in point right there. Suriname were bad. That was like kick and run 1996 style of football. Like, it was really, really bad. And Canada played down to their level, and that happens from time to time. So, look, I don't think it was a bad night. It was a pragmatic night, and they got the job done.
Yeah, but they got to win 2 games to win this competition. Do we think set pieces, like, they can do it without set pieces?
I don't know. These are the things that matter. You need to be able to take advantage. You can't score an open play with a really difficult time. Set pieces, like, honestly, Ollie, the set piece taking, and this carried over from John Herdman. It's been dreadful. And whether we just don't have set piece takers or whether it's in the design or the application, it is really, really poor.
Jordan Wilson, if we don't ask Oliver Platt for his 5, I think our audience is going to go mad. So I want you to try and guess his 5 for the next 5 years first, just so we can put an end to it, if you will.
I mean, I said 3, and just because the number 3 felt good, but Davies and David for sure.
Yeah.
Like that, I don't think anyone can really argue with that. Any American or whoever is listening in, like, get out of here with that rubbish. Those two are
Bombito.
3. I would say Bombito,
Best
still
centre
fresh
back in the region. Yeah.
But then where are we going from there? Who are the other two that you think are locking
Stakio.
5 best?
Stakio, best central midfielder for me in CONCACAF, and Ismail Kone, maybe the highest ceiling player in the whole region.
Okay. Gareth Wheeler, on that note, on ranking players, I know you disagree.
Great topic,
I know you
guys.
disagree.
Ooh, this is a good one. This is spicy.
Sound off down below. Gareth Wheeler, let's pick one and ask you this question. Who is Canada's most important player right now?
Well, it's easy to make the case for Jonathan David because he steps up and provides goals for a team that really struggles in terms of creating them. He has 5 goal contributions in the last 5 games, and that was the biggest positive coming out of that of the Suriname game for me, is that they managed to find another late goal. Late winner against Panama when they're not at their best in the previous window, and a late goal here when they're not at their best, especially in the second half against Suriname. And it's the quality of David, the way that he brought down that ball and put it on a platter for Junior Hoylett. Like, look, Bombito's great, Davies is great, but Jonathan David provides the goals. And for a team that's a little bit deficient in that area, he's the one that matters the most. And right now, he's a slam dunk in terms of the Canada Player of the Year. And as long as you have Jonathan David in the team, you just feel comfortable that somehow, some way, you're going to find that goal when you need it the most.
Okay, Jordan Wilson, as we continue to see some of the recent highlights from Jonathan David, I imagine there is no changing Jonathan David in this team. He's pretty much irreplaceable. But if you're Jesse Marsh, as you look ahead to tomorrow's return leg, what ideas are you toying with this 11, with these tactics?
I change wingers, but I think that's not even a reflection of how the wingers were on the day. I think that's just how this team is built. I think you're going to get certain moments. When you look at Panama match as well, you look at Schaffelberg starting, but then who was the one that provided the beautiful assist to Jonathan David to seal the game? It's like Liam Miller. Like, you're looking at how you break down the game. You have starters, you have finishers, you have guys that you want to mix and match. For me, I don't know how healthy Tajon Buchanan is. He looked good coming on in terms of energetic and looked like he was finding his feet. I'd switch both wingers. I love Ahmed. I love the way Schaffelberg plays. I think Schaffelberg's very direct, but I think a game at BMO where you just need to start well, score a goal, and feel comfortable, Hoylett and Buchanan. And I would almost even say, I'm no Jesse Marsh, but I would even put Buchanan on the right and put Hoylett on the left. I know he switched them and had Buchanan come on the left and Hoylett on the right, but even so, Hoylett can come in the pocket and Buchanan can just have some fun. And torch whatever left back he's running at. I think that would probably be the change. But other than that, you look at this team and the spine and the nucleus, they're players that have to play. If they're fresh, you're playing if you're Jesse Marsh. Maybe chase Kyle Aaron up top as well, and give some berm. But yeah, for me, those are probably the only changes they'll make.
Oliver Platt.
That was going to be the one I was going to say. Kyle Aaron's going to come back in up top now if he's fit enough to come off the bench. I think it was a fitness issue, not a selection decision, that he was the reason he was on the bench in Suriname. So I'd expect him to come back in. Junior Hoylett, I think he's going to be useful in exactly the role they gave him on Friday night. 20 minutes off the bench when you need a goal. He brings you some quality. He is a set piece taker, which will help. I could see him having a productive role in exactly that way.
Yeah. I mean, look, I know that Jordan and his studio analysis was very critical of the players in wide areas. It was also subject to the way the game was played. Suriname put 11 players behind the ball, and there's less room for a player like Schaffelberg that plays a little bit direct and wants to get him behind the line when that line is structured and played so deep. They created chances, guys. They just need to finish their chances. Like, that's what it came down to. You're up 2-0 at halftime. The game is done and dusted. Both of those chances need to be in the back of the net. So
totally agree. And definitely you score those goals. Even one of those goals is a different feeling going to halftime. But the amount of passes, the underlaps, the balls that went out of bounds for goal kicks, missed passes, it wasn't good enough from the start, and that's fine because for me,
Did you see
when I
the
said at
other
end-
team?
Hold on, let me
See,
finish.
the other
But I'll
team had
say-
63%
I am not comparing Canada to
at halftime.
Suriname.
They were
We're not
terrified of
Suriname.
Canada.
I'm not
They were
comparing Canada to
terrified.
Suriname.
They were
I think
terrified to play at home against
if-
Canada.
if you can't make a 10-yard pass and the balls are going out of bounds, I'm definitely going to say it's not good enough in the quality and with quality. You have to be able to make passes. Passes going out of bounds. You already mentioned set pieces weren't good enough. Like for sure, it wasn't good enough. But I will commend the team for keeping a clean sheet and for scoring and winning off those games. That's huge. But it was
Okay, we're gonna jump in, and by we I mean me. Jump in, park this conversation now because we have a full 1 hour pregame show tomorrow night. Join us on
1
One
hour.
Soccer. It is
Save your
5:30
voice.
p.m. Central Time, 3:30 p.m. Pacific. Hope you'll join us for that's the return leg at BMO Field. Take a look at some of the other results from around the region. Most notably, we want to spend some time with El Tree. Jordan Wilson, I'm sure you are keeping a close eye on the results. 2-0 for the Mexicans away to Honduras. And I come to you first because I think you have a pat on the back or two you'd like to give yourself here.
Well, I wanted to, but then Wheels reminded me also that I thought Jamaica was going to win, but we'll get into that.
Keeping it real.
I
I'm
guess
keeping it
that's
real.
I get Wheels always keeps me humble, you know. As much as I try to, he said, "Get back down." dude.
Someone
You
has
just
to.
stay right there.
If you bet
Fair
both,
enough,
you'd
buddy.
still be up.
I appreciate
Right.
you. I'll say this about Mexico: they're not their juggernauts they once were. I don't see them getting back to that. One, because I think in this Concacaf region, there are other nations, Canada, that are far better than they were 10, 15, 20 years ago. Also, the style of play. I don't think they're as dangerous. I know for a fact that the fear factor is not there when you're playing this Mexican team. I think if they go and lose in the quarterfinals of Honduras or the second leg and they're out, that is catastrophe. But someone called the 1-0 win for Honduras on the show. But getting out of quarterfinals, I still think for this team and that nation that just loves football and how much pride they have for it, to bow out so early would be a catastrophe.
Yeah, we'll look ahead to the return leg later,
Well-
but Gareth, your reaction to the decision.
My reaction is Mexico, by virtue of that loss, is going to be in a better place moving forward. And it's all because of their manager. Javier Aguirre is an absolute legend. This guy, they lose away from home in a game they should never be losing. He's walking off the field and he's crushed in the head by a beer, starts profusely bleeding from the head, and promptly goes on to shake the hands of everyone else, just brushes it off, goes around, shakes everyone's hand. This guy is a leader of men. Post-match, brushed off the fact he was hitting the bean by a beer. Look at this guy, class. This guy, post-match, then gives a shout out and shares his thoughts with people that are dealing with the hurricane in Honduras and the flood victims in Valencia, and went on to take full responsibility for his team's performance. That, as a player, as a footballing country, as fans, you say, you know what? That guy, I want him to
Yeah,
lead
bleed for
us
him.
going forward.
Yeah.
I love the message that it sent. I love this post-match commentary as well. Class act. Of course, no one should ever be hit with a beer. Like it's ridiculous. But he brushed it off the way that more people should these days. Not with hysterics, not with playing victim or anything like that. He just took it and moved on and got on with it. Shout out to Javier Aguirre. I got so much respect and I got a lot of good things to say about him.
Yeah, I mean,
Mexico wins 8-0
that's-
next game. Watch this.
that's all great, but unfortunately, his team is completely average. Like, and I think
Top manager.
This happens last year, right? We had this same tie in the Nations League quarterfinals. Mexico lost 2-0 and then won 2-0 and won on penalties in the second leg. So they're certainly not out of it going back to Mexico and playing altitude. Don't know about 8. But once again, you look at this Mexico 11 and you're like, who scares you? Who are you
Nope.
frightened of in that team?
Not me.
No one.
All right, well, we'll see if there's any Americans
that.
that strike a bit more fear into the hearts of our pundits, because that's who we're going to speak of next. As the Mauricio Pochettino era rolls along just fine, a big debut victory.
What's going on out the window over there?
For the United
window?
States of America.
Keep on looking out. What's going on?
It's snowing. It's snowing here in Calgary. I'm going to be honest. It's distracting me a little bit. It's blinding. But yes, Mauricio Pochettino and the Americans get a 1-0 win. Maybe not emphatic Jordan Wilson, Oliver Platt. I want to go to you first here on this one. Maybe not emphatic, but I mean, you'll
Distracted
take
by the
your
snow.
win and go there.
Jordan had a big prediction.
All right, Jordan, take it away.
My reggae boys were close, and I say but yeah, you know what I mean. They were close. I know that I believe that the US are going to kick it into gear, but this is the time to puncture them. And this is to Ollie's point, how he started the show, well, spicy, is that Canada should not fear any team in Concacaf, neither one of those. But you watch the game and looking even at the highlights, rewatching things back, I'm like, Jamaica could have done something there. I mean, that's one of those games where you look at the marginal 1-0 win. For, I guess, the Americans will say it was enough, but watching the game, yeah, they're very lucky. They're very fortunate to get out of that one. I did call Jamaica winning, but, you can't get everything right, Wheels.
Oh, no, but just look, okay, I'll get to the U.S. in a second. Jamaica needs to get their act together off the field. Like, Mikel Antonio has, like, a passport issue and can't play. Then they call Ethan Pinnock really good player, and he's just not fit enough to play. Like, McLaren's there, but it's the same dysfunction that holds this program back. Let's talk about the U.S. Like, this is a team with good players, but it's going to take some time for Mauricio Pochettino to figure this out. He's still playing Tim Ream at center back. What year is this? Like, they have so many good options in this team. He brings in Tessman to start this game. Like, there's a lot of players of quality, but he's got to find the right mix. And I just think that that's going to take a little bit of time. So I think that Mopo is going to get the job done with the U.S. Just right now, he's going to have to limp into it rather than come in like a lion.
Wheels, you want to start Tim Ream?
No, come on. This is a young athletic team. Like, this is a team that should be using their athleticism, much like Jesse Marsh came into Canada and played to their strengths. Like, come on now. Let's go. And I liked him. He's a good player, but yeah, anyways. Yeah, it's a good, they won the game. It wasn't pretty, but
they were awful away under Greg Berhalter playing outside the United States. So it's a good win for the US, and they're obviously in pole position now to get through. Jamaica, like, I don't want to pat myself in the back here, but because I would like Jamaica to be good. But I said this from the start, like, you can have all this talent, but it's not a team. And until I actually see this group of players get together consistently and start to look like one, I can't believe in Jamaica as a real force in this region.
Let's go, McLaren. Come on now. Brace the power of Fergie. Do it.
All righty then. Well, the second leg will go tonight.
All righty then.
That's home. I wasn't touching that. I didn't know where it was going, but I wanted nothing to do with it. City Park in St. Louis is where leg 2 will go tonight between USA and Jamaica. And we continue to think about this US team, Gareth, and the reset that they're having under Mauricio Pochettino. So I posited the question to you and the crew, which other thing in your life or just in general deserves a reset?
Yeah, so that's what Christian Pulisic called Mauricio Pochettino coming to join the U.S. It's a reset for the group, and I think they need a reset because they've had some really good big highs and some lows, and it's time for a reset to take this into a better direction, maybe back to where it used to be. So what else in life needs a reset? Are you guys a fan of People magazine? Have you picked up a copy of People magazine as of late?
I picked one up recently.
Not even once a month.
Well,
sexiest man.
If you got last week's, Ollie picked up a People's magazine last week, and they awarded
I don't know who it is.
Man alive for 2024. This was an award, by the way, or someone that they would name that legitimately sexy. Idris Elba, David Beckham, Brad Pitt, George Clooney, but they've got off the rails. There's been some wobbles in recent years, like Paul Rudd. Come on, nice guy, sexiest man alive. Come on now. And this year, come on, let's put up who People magazine called the sexiest man alive for this year. Come on, none of the Jim Krasinski.
Oh yeah,
or John Krasinski or Jim from The Office.
Jim Halpert. That's it. Jim Halpert, this guy right here, has been named the sexiest man alive. Look, good-looking guy, talented, really good actor. Does this guy scream, hey, look at me, I'm dead sexy? Come on, this isn't the sexiest man alive. He's a good-looking, great dude, solid guy, really good actor, sexiest man alive. Come on, Dad. There's no way. This is just cannot be the case. People Magazine, time to have a reset on who you deem sexy. That's good looking. Sexy? Come on.
Listen,
You
he was
need to
available
reset
for
the
shoot.
sexiest
He was
man
available
alive.
for the shoot.
Producer Holly
That
did
is
him
so
dirty
funny.
with the old Jim
Yo, that is hilarious.
pictures, Jim
Well
Halpert
done.
Love it.
pictures.
John
But I will
Krasinski,
say,
Jim
yes, John
Halpert. I call him
Krasinski.
Jim.
Krasinski.
I call him Jim. He's Jim from
If
The
you
Office.
have not seen the new Tom
Kim's
Clancy
with
on
friends.
Prime with John Krasinski, it might change your opinion just a slight.
Is it
little bit
sexy?
towards- Yes,
It's
it's
sexy.
sexy. He's
That-
a secret agent
Come
who
on,
spends half
man.
the show topless fighting criminals. It's modern day James Bond. Anyways,
Draw
Oliver
abs
Platt,
on
move
me,
on.
and I might be the
They're
2025
not drawn, I
sexiest
agree.
man alive.
Oliver Platt, what needs
Wow.
to reset other than this
Wheels,
segment?
you're great, man.
It's tough to
Reset that.
follow that one up. Mine is just the whole internet. I think needs a reset. Like it literally needs to be switched off and on again. None of it works. Social
Like
media doesn't
Nintendo.
work.
Nintendo
Yeah.
back in the day.
We all know that
Reset button.
like all the social media sites are just broken beyond repair. Even Google though doesn't work. Like when I need like some household tip or I need to know how to do something, I have to Google how to do this thing plus Reddit to get a result
Yes.
that's written by a human
Reddit's
and not
the
by
place.
a bot. So like I don't think it works anymore. I think someone
Just
needs
quit
to,
the internet, buddy. Go back to like Encyclopedia
you know,
Britannica.
that might
Go
be the way
back
to
to
go.
that road.
Wise words as
Go
always.
down it.
This
Quit
is
the
where Ollie
internet.
plugs his Blue Sky social, where you can follow him there.
That's
because
su- by the way, that's
sorry,
such
I'm
an
not signing up for
easy
Blue
response.
Sky.
Boring. That was
Jordan
boring.
Wilson.
2 minutes. We'll never get
Wheels
back.
by far has the best one today. But for me, I tell my parents all the time, like, you guys lied to me. They told me that if I worked hard, I went to university, I did well in school, and I got a good education, that the world would be my oyster. What needs a reset
Soft.
is the economy. I went to the grocery store the other day, and it was $8.99 for grapes. There was like 50 grapes.
Grapes.
I
grapes
said,
are
what
great.
is going on here? The economy needs a
Great
reset.
prices.
Look, everything, all of it is too expensive, specifically here in the GTA. I'm drowning. Wheels, you say it's a sob story, buddy? I might be asking for a loan real quick. Hopefully you can give me some money. The economy needs a reset pronto.
He's not wrong.
Please. 100%.
Okay, so just to recap the segment.
Way to make
Gareth
this segment
Wheeler
really fun,
taking on-
guys. Way to
people.
really make it fun.
Yeah, we went from Gareth
Really
having
putting
some
some
fun at
thought
People
here.
Magazine to
Also,
Ollie
as mean
speaking of.
spirited as yours, Wheels.
So remember,
Mean-spirited.
Jordan
I
Wilson for
complimented
Prime
the guy. He's
Minister,
not
Oliver
sexy.
Platt on Blue Sky, and Gareth Wheeler for 2025 Sexiest Man Alive. Everyone got that?
With the painted
Fantastic.
on abs. He said,
Let's
paint,
move
I'm not
paint
sexy.
the abs on and he's good.
Nothing sexy
Let's
about this
move on
over
to
here.
our talking about topics.
I'm Jim from The Office.
Topics presented by tonybet, leg twos of the Concacaf Nations League quarterfinal. This one seems fairly unanimous just by the lines, but you don't know the lines yet, so let me tell them to you. Canada minus 770, Suriname plus 1700 at BMO Field. Jordan Wilson.
You know Les Rouges is going to win, but I'm going to do one different. I'm going to say what the score will be. I think it'll be 3-1. I think when Suriname score won't matter about that goal, but I think there's going to be 3 goals. And if I have to go deeper, I'm going to say David scoring, Laren scoring, and the man who used to do backflips, Buchanan, is also scoring.
Tejan Buchanan goal at home would be pretty fun. Oliver Platt, any value for you on Suriname?
Well, no, no value on the money line. This game is just one of those that, like, it depends how early Canada score. If they score early on, I could see them running away with a few. If not, then it could be more like Friday's game. But I'd be tempted, if anything, to take Canada on the handicap.
Gareth Wheeler.
But the handicap to get like minus
It may not be
2.5
great
is
either.
plus
Yeah.
117. Like they gotta win by 3 in order to there isn't really a number that I like in this game. I don't even like the total. I generally like the under in games like this, but Suriname showed me nothing. Kick and run, take it and bring it back with you. It's just horrible to watch. So I'm hoping for some Canada goals and they put on a show, but no bet for me.
All right, no bet from Gareth Wheeler. How about Mexico at home to Honduras?
Told you,
Minus
Mexico to the moon.
295, easy for you, Wheels.
Doge that. We're going to the moon with Mexico on this one.
Sorry,
Platt?
what was that?
On the handicap.
Dogecoin to the moon.
To the moon.
No. We're not doing that. Yeah. I don't know. Mexico.
DC Aguirre, if they do not come out and win this game, like the guy is taking full beers off the feed, and his team better respond. That's
Jordan
what
Wilson
I'm saying.
might have to call this Tony bait because Honduras plus 760.
Nah.
Come on, take it.
That is
It's
a
not
little
happening.
ass number.
I think Mexico's winning. I just don't know if it's enough. Are they gonna do that too? No. Are they gonna go and who knows?
Hold on.
But we gotta just talk about Wheels on this Monday. He has been exceptional for the past 29 minutes.
Well, that's
Like,
one
you
word
have-
for it.
Mexico -2 at plus 159. To the moon, everyone. To the moon. Let's go.
There you go.
Mexico.
What'd you eat today,
Jordan
Wheels?
Wilson, in our final minute of the show, are you still optimistic about Steve McLaren plus 520 away in St. Louis?
I think they could do it, I really do. But I agree with Ollie in terms of that they don't really play as a team, but all you need is one moment to really get things sorted. So yes, I'm gonna bat the Yachty.
Can I throw one
Plus
in?
309 on the
Jamaica
draw.
plays
It's a
in the
little
top,
tempting.
man.
Oliver Plot.
I'm gonna do it.
I'm going to throw in a different one. Panama, you can get almost even money to win again at home against Costa Rica. They beat them 6-1 on aggregate last year in this competition.
Yeah.
Keep backing Panama.
All right, Gareth, last two games you can pick.
Well, the United States doesn't have to win this home game. I'm thinking that Jamaica on the handicap is the play here. Like a draw isn't good enough, right? So yeah, it's good enough for the U.S. to move on. So I'll dabble in a little Jamaica on the handicap action here. Dabble, small
All
play,
right, that-
small play.
Small little dabble. Well, that match goes tonight.
Not to the moon.
USA hosting Jamaica. Canada back in action at home tomorrow. Please join us for a full 60-minute pregame on One Soccer.